We're back for our daily NBA predictions here on Wednesday, March 19th. We've got 11 games today in the National Basketball Association, so a completely loaded slate with some big games. Obviously, the game in the marquee, you see it in the thumbnail, Lakers, Nuggets from the Crypto.com Arena, obviously in Los Angeles, California. Luka versus Jokic, we think Jokic is playing. We'll get to that obviously later in the video. Another big game in the night slate, Cavs and Kings from Sacramento, California. And folks, before we get into the predictions, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our college basketball best bets. Obviously, we continue the first four today in Dayton, Ohio. Mount St. Mary's takes on American University, and Xavier takes on Texas. Make sure to go check that video out. That is linked in the description down below. Also, go make sure to check out our March Madness bracket predictions. I predicted the entire bracket. I broke it down as well. Make sure to check that video out, linked in the description down below, along with our UFC London predictions as well on Greedo Plays MMA, Edwards versus Brady in the main event this Saturday for the UFC. Again, make sure to go check that video out on Greedo Plays MMA. Subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to this channel as well as we get on to the first of our 11 games, and we start in Indiana. The Indiana Pacers take on the Dallas Mavericks. Now, Anthony Davis is getting closer to returning. He's not going to play this game, obviously, because he's just been assigned to the G League team for the Mavericks, which I believe is the Texas Legends. But tonight we get Indiana and Dallas. The Pacers are an 8.5 point favorite for good reason. They're coming off of the Obi Toppin game-winning three-pointer in overtime in Minnesota to snap the Timberwolves' long win streak, which is crazy. And Indiana won that game without Tyrese Haliburton, without Pascal Siakam, and without Miles Turner as well. Obi Toppin had a huge night. Indiana, man, showing how good this team is and how deep they are as well. Now, they've got a bunch of injuries for tonight as well. Haliburton questionable with the back injury. Nesmith questionable ankle injury. Siakam questionable with personal reasons. Jarris Walker questionable as well. Regardless, whoever plays tonight, and I sure hope that Haliburton and Siakam and Nesmith all play, but they're going to put belt to ass to the Mavericks. Dallas on a 3-game losing streak after winning that one game in San Antonio. They lost the second game in San Antonio, losing in Houston to the Rockets and losing to Philadelphia. Now, I have a theory on why Anthony Davis is coming back, not just because, I guess the Mavericks are somewhat still in the hunt for the play-in. Technically, they still have that play-in spot right now over the Phoenix Suns. They have it by a game. But it's not because, they're trying to maintain their playoff positioning. It's because they don't want to forfeit basketball games. Because the way that their cap situation's working and the way that they have contracts set up right now, they only have, 7-8 active guys a night? They don't want to get to the point where a couple more guys fall out and they don't have 5 players to play. So legitimately, this becomes, okay, we need AD to get back on the court if he can, and not just, all right, he can, because the situation with Anthony Davis is, all right, if the Mavericks were a team that was, the 1 seed, the 2 seed, okay, they'd get him back, obviously. He'd come back as soon as possible. But for a team that they know they're not winning the chip this year, they know they're not going to contend because Kyrie's out, they don't really need Davis back. But because they're in this situation, this unprecedented situation that we haven't seen ever, where the Mavericks might have to forfeit, they need AD to play. They absolutely need it. And at the same time, okay, I guess Davis can try to hold on to their playoff hopes. I don't think just AD will be able to do that. I still think the Suns will overtake them. But obviously, no Anthony Davis tonight means no victories. They're starting Dinwiddie, Clay, Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, and Kessler Edwards tonight in Indiana. It's not going to go well for them. Pacers blow them out. Whoever's playing for Indiana, let's hope again Tyrese and Siakam give it a go. Give me the Pacers at home to win and cover the 8.5 points. We go to Orlando, Florida. Let's see an underdog here. Give me the Magic at home to beat the Rockets. The Magic have to turn things around, right? And I know, again, they beat the Cavaliers the other night, snapping the Cavs' 16-game winning streak. They went to Ohio and got that one done. I think they have to start piling up some victories, right? I don't think the Magic can continue to play this poorly, and I hope that win over Cleveland was the game that is going to kind of turn around their season. Now, are they going to make noise in the playoffs? Probably not. Are they still a play-in team? Definitely. I think it's just a matter of if they're going to get the home game against the Hawks or not in that first play-in game, because we do expect the 7-8 matchup, to be Atlanta versus Orlando. In the 9-10, obviously, to be Miami going to Chicago to take on the Bulls. And I do say that again because I thought the Bulls were going to leapfrog Orlando. The Magic have been playing slightly better. And I think that Cavaliers wins shows that, okay, this team can still go out there and find ways to win basketball games. With that being said, I think with that victory over Cleveland, they have to sort of, figure everything out now, right? I think they're going to go somewhat streaking here as they have two very winnable games coming up. Houston at home, Washington on the road, and then a game next Monday against the Lakers where right now LeBron James is projected to make his return for. We'll see again if Orlando is able to get that one done. But what's gone understated recently is how well Paolo Banchero's been playing. 34, 43 in the two games back-to-back nights against the Pelicans and the Timberwolves, and then 24 in the victory over Cleveland, again beating the league's second-best squad, only behind the Thunder. It's a huge victory for the Rockets, and now they're going to take on a team in Houston who are kind of just the West version of the Magic. Now, obviously, the Rockets have been better all year long. The Rockets right now are riding a 7-game win streak, but I think the Magic snapped their win streak too. These are two very defensively minded teams. The Rockets barely got out of that game against Philadelphia the other night, coming from behind and winning the game in overtime against a real depleted Philadelphia lineup. I think the Magic catch them here. The Rockets have to go on the road. Obviously, they're still without Amen Thompson. I think the Magic get him. I'm going to take Orlando here at home to beat the Rockets. Should be a very low-scoring game. I believe the over-under, yes, is by far the lowest of the entire bunch today. 209 is the over-under. I still think we go under. Give me Orlando in a low-scoring affair. Expect Banchero, though, to have the best night on the court. Orlando at plus money. I like it at home. Again, give me the Magic. We go on now to the other Florida game. My goodness, the Miami Heat. This is on national television. Seriously? Wow, that's embarrassing. The first half of the ESPN doubleheader, the Miami Heat host the Detroit Pistons. Guys, the Miami Heat might be playing like the worst team in basketball right now. They're just so horrible. It's really bad. They've won one game in the month of March, and it's over the Washington Wizards. They can't buy a victory right now. Miami is currently on an 8-game losing streak going into this one against Detroit. They have fallen out of the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference. It would take a complete collapse for the Toronto Raptors to surpass them, obviously, in the play-in race. And did you guys see today that someone bet, what was it, $10 on the Washington Wizards to win the NBA championship? If it hits, I think it's like 100,000. Hey, they're only 14 games up the play-in. Legitimately, the Wizards would have to win out, I think, for that bet to hit. Crazy. Anyways, Miami's not beating the Pistons. Guys, when do the Heat win a game? Okay, they'll probably beat Charlotte in a couple, but they get Detroit, Houston, Charlotte, probably beat Charlotte, Golden State, Atlanta, loss, Philly, Washington, probably they split that. I think they probably lose in Washington right now. I'm just saying, guys, the Heat are playing horrible basketball. This team is god-awful. They're not all that injured, too. I mean, Wiggins might not play tonight, but they're just so dysfunctional. They can't find ways to score, and Detroit is by far the better basketball team. The Pistons did lose back-to-back to the Thunder and the Wizards, but they bounced back the other night against the New Orleans Pelicans in much-needed fashion, winning that game 127-81. Wasn't a competitive basketball game. They did that on the road in Louisiana, and I don't expect this game on the road for the Pistons either to be very competitive. I think they go to Miami, blow out this lowly Miami Heat team, and get it over with. Give me Detroit on the road to make short work of Miami. I expect them to win this one and cover the 5.5 points. That's crazy. Only 5.5? I mean, I get it. The Heat might play better because they're on national TV, but really? I don't know. This feels like a blowout. That's all I'm saying. You know what else feels like a blowout? This game in Minnesota. The New Orleans Pelicans taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. The line's 12.5. I get why. Minnesota should run right through the Pels tonight. They should. I don't think the Pels stand a chance. Trey Murphy's now out for the season. Got injured very early in their last game. Torn labrum in the right shoulder. Yeah, this team has lost, anything that they had. I mean, yeah, Zion's still in the lineup, and CJ McCollum's obviously still playing, but man, Trey Murphy was so huge for them this season, and it sucks he doesn't get to finish out his year, because guys, it wasn't being talked about enough, primarily because he plays in the Pelicans. Trey Murphy's been averaging 21 points a game this season. Crazy stuff. Now again, Zion's back, and he's been playing fairly well. CJ McCollum actually averages 21 points a game as well. But obviously the Pelicans just don't win many games. And now without Trey Murphy, that's another one of their scorers, and it's their best scorer who's just off the court now permanently. Minnesota should run right over them. Now, in all fairness, we expected the Timberwolves to run over the Pacers the other night without Siakam, without Halliburton, without Turner. And they had a couple other injuries as well. I mean, Mathurin fouled out, Nesmith went out with an injury, and yet the Timberwolves still lost to the Obi Toppin and TJ McConnell-led Indiana Pacers. This is a easy bounce back spot here for the Timberwolves. They should run right over the Pelicans. They're healthy. Ant, again, I think it doesn't get stated enough the whistle Anthony Edwards has. I don't think it does. We want to complain about, and I like Ant. Let me get that out the way. But we want to complain about Shai's, production at the free throw line. Guys, Anthony Edwards shot 20 free throws in the Timberwolves-Pacers game, and he only had 38 points. He went 1 for 11 from beyond the arc, but he still scored 38 because he had 19 of those points at the free throw line. I'm not going after Anthony Edwards. I'm just saying the superstars in the league all have a great whistle, unless your name's Luka Doncic. But they all have a great whistle, So this isn't a Shai problem. It's just this is what happens in the entire league. It's the same thing that happened with James Harden. Now, Harden was the master foul baiter. That's why I threw foul in there. But he was, it's just all the stars kind of play like that. And they all have great whistles. That's all I'm saying, except for Luka and LeBron sometimes. All right, that's not a bias. And honestly, Pascal Siakam does not. I know he's not a superstar, but Pascal has no whistle now. He went to Indiana. Oh, your whistle's gone. It's crazy. Anyways, give me the Timberwolves. They're going to kill the Pelicans. Again, no Trey Murphy really hurts New Orleans for the rest of the season. And the Pels are on the road, so I expect the Timberwolves to completely dominate. Give me Minnesota at home to win and cover the 12.5 points against the Pels. We go on to our next one. We go to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma for the Thunder and the Philadelphia 76ers. No MVP tonight for the Thunder. SGA is out due to rest reasons. The Thunder, they know where they're at in the standings right now. They're 56-12. They have 12.5 games up on they're 12.5 games up on the Rockets. English is hard sometimes. Again, restate myself again. This is horrible. The Rockets are on a 7-game winning streak, and the Thunder are still 12.5 games up on them. So they know they're going to be the 1 seed, okay? So that's why Shai's resting, and they're going to take their time with Shai. They just need to make sure he gets his minimum amount of games so he can still win the MVP, because he better win the MVP. He's like minus, 600 at this point? It's his award, okay? It's his award. Now I'm going to list to you all the guys who are not playing tonight for the Thunder, and they're still going to blow out the 76ers. SGA out with rest, obviously. Jalen Williams still out with the hip injury. Dort out with the hip injury. Hartenstein, questionable with the back injury. Cason Wallace, questionable with the shoulder injury. Dieng out with the calf injury. So that means Chet's playing tonight. Alex Caruso's starting, probably. Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins. I'd say Hartenstein probably plays. So expect Caruso, Joe, Wiggins, Chet, Hartenstein tonight for the Thunder. That team still blows out Philadelphia. Guys, remember the last time Shai sat out? They blew out Portland. They're only going to sit Shai out in games that they know they can win, and they're at home for. This is exactly the type of game that they're going to sit Shai Gilgeous-Alexander out for, right? I mean, it's just they don't need him for this game. They want to make sure Shai's 100% for the playoffs. And Philadelphia is Philadelphia, right? That game against the Rockets the other night on Monday, that just represents that sums up the entire season this year for the 76ers. Up big, you think everything's going well until it's not. They lose an overtime game to the Rockets by 7. They were up by 25 points for most of that basketball game until late third, early fourth quarter, and the Rockets came coming back. That's not a great use of the English language, but still, they came back, and the Rockets win. And Quentin Grimes with 46 points in the loss. Now, we want to talk about the Luka trade being a fleece. Quentin Grimes, they just let go for virtually nothing. Quentin Grimes has been balling as a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's get his numbers as just a Sixer. He averages 22 points a game for Philadelphia. Over 14 starts. Wow. Now, again, I don't know where Grimes' production is going to be next season and once all their guys come back, but I suggest the Sixers trade him. Now, Grimes might be a great player. Take advantage of it. Okay? You're getting Jared McCain back next season. Maxi's obviously starting. Grimes is not starting over McCain or Maxey. So trade him and get as much as you can right now. Okay? Philadelphia has no draft capital. You know what? A team might take on Paul George. If Quentin Grimes keeps playing like this, a team will take on Paul George's contract so they can get Quentin Grimes. And they'll say, you know what? We'll just figure out PG. That's all I'm saying. I think the Sixers, what I do for the Sixers this season, I would completely blow it up. You're done. Send Embiid away. Get rid of everybody but Maxey and McCain, for the most part. Those are the prominent guys you're going to keep. Get rid of everybody else. And sure, yes, Grimes can help out the rebuild, but you're not going to get as much value as you're going to get right now in Quentin Grimes. Sell the entire team. Just keep your 2 guards and revolve everything around them. Anyways, the Thunder are going to destroy the 76ers tonight. I expect Grimes to play well, but no Maxey, no Oubre, no Yabusele, no Lowry. Oh my God, everyone's not playing. Yeah, they're screwed. PG's out for the year. OKC dominates and wins by probably 20. Even with their injuries still. Give me OKC. Next up, we go to San Antonio, Texas, to the Frostbank Center, as we've got the San Antonio Spurs taking on the New York Knicks. Give me New York. Give me the Knicks by blowout. San Antonio's just not good. There's not. Right? They showed some fight in the Lakers game, but obviously Los Angeles just dominated that game from pillar to post. Right? The Spurs were kind of in the game, but we knew the Lakers were winning throughout that entire game. The Knicks should be able to dominate. I get it, the game's in San Antonio, but the Knicks are just the much better basketball team. I've been impressed the way that the Knicks have been able to play without Jalen Brunson. Again, Brunson is still a couple weeks away. Late March, early April. Ugh, yikes. But I've been impressed, right? I've been impressed by the way they're playing, and you got to give a lot of credit to Karl Anthony Towns, who has been a top 10 player in basketball, if not top 5 player in basketball all year long, right? Cat's a monster. A big win the other night for the Knicks at home at the Garden over the Miami Heat. A 116-295 victory over the Miami Heat. A game that they were down a lot early. The Knicks came storming back. Cat had a 12-0 or 15-0 run all by himself against Miami. The Knicks are a good basketball team. In the regular season. In the playoffs, they will lose. Trust me, they will lose. But right now, yes, we can kind of count on the Knicks because we do get somewhat of discounted lines because Brunson is out. Yeah, it's not a Brunson problem. Obviously, they're much better with Brunson. I'm just saying right now, I still think the books are kind of down on the Knicks because Brunson is not playing. Guys, the Knicks are going to destroy the Spurs. I don't care if the game's played in San Antonio, if it's played on Mars, if it's being played on the beach. The Knicks will destroy San Antonio. Okay, Stephon Castle, likely rookie of the year, been a great player all year long for the Spurs. Devin Vassell will have his nights, but man, again, a team with the starting lineup of Chris Paul, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and Bismack Biyombo, they're not remaining competitive with the Knicks. They're just not. Even with the Knicks down a couple guys, New York's the much better basketball team. And guys, we get a Karl Anthony Towns versus Bismack Biyombo matchup tonight. Shout out to Bismack. I'm glad he's back in the league. I'm glad he's playing big minutes. But guys, let's just think about this. What's going to happen? When Cat hits a couple shots from the perimeter, pump, drive. Biyombo can block shots. He's not as quick as Cat. He's not as agile as Cat. How the hell is he going to remain, how is he going to stay in that matchup? I don't know. And then what happens? Who do they bring off the bench to guard Cat? Mabuskeli? I don't know. Mamu? That's what they call him? Sandro? Sochan? Oh, yeah. Knicks blowout in San Antonio. We go on to our next game and we move to the Tankathon. Let's go. All right, I've been so pumped for this game. The Tankathon between the Washington Wizards and the Utah Jazz at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm taking the Washington Wizards. Guys, the Jazz are going to make sure they don't win this basketball game. We completely believe in the tank. They're going to get rewarded with the number 5 pick and VJ Edgecombe from Baylor. Just watch out. They're going to. But guys, they are not going to let themselves win this game against the Wizards. Guys, the Jazz, they've been fighting. They've been trying their hardest to have the least amount of wins in the NBA. They can ensure they control their own destiny now in terms of losing. They control their own destiny to the number one odds for the number 1 pick. They're not going to get rewarded Cooper Flag. Trust me. They're going to get rewarded with the number 5 pick. If they're lucky, they'll get number 4 and, Kasparas Jacunius from Illinois, right? They get a chance to lose to the Wizards tonight. I feel so confident that the Washington Wizards at plus 145 are winning this basketball game. Guys, the Jazz will not allow this team to win. We look at the injury report right now. Okay, there's only 7 guys on the injury report, okay? Collins probably out for the year. They say he's out for a couple weeks. He's done for the year, okay? KJ Martin out, Springer out, Mikhailuk out, Walker Kessler, that's a big deal. He's out due to rest purposes. Okay, let's look at what they're lining up right now in the starting lineup. Collier, Sexton, Cody Williams, Lauri Markkanen, Kyle Filipowski. I guarantee you Lauri Markkanen's going to randomly have to rest. They rested Sexton in their last game because they were trying to lose to the Bulls, so he has to play. So Markkanen has to be the guy tonight that's not going to play because they always have to announce one right before the game. And Jordan Clarkson off the bench. I guarantee you, randomly he's going to have an ankle injury or he's going to need to rest. So just think about it. Markkanen and Clarkson probably aren't playing. Maybe they'll give Sexton another day off, but what they have on the injury report right now with only Kessler and Martin and Mikhailuk being out and obviously Collins still being out, no, that's not enough. They're going to have more. Now, can the Wizards out-tank them, though, is the real question, right? Because the Wizards know this too, right? They might, right? Kispert out for the year with a thumb injury. Chris Middleton, he's a big veteran presence for this team, out due to ankles injury. Malcolm Brogdon out ankle injury. Jordan Poole doubtful due to a right elbow contusion. Marcus Smart out with an illness. Keontae George questionable. So what are the Wizards? Bilal Coulibaly out. So what are the Wizards going to be throwing out there tonight? Bub Carrington, AJ Johnson, Justin Champagnie, got Tristan Vukanic, and Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr single-handedly is winning this game for the Wizards. Why? Alex Sarr dominates a matchup with Kyle Filipowski. I'm just going to be honest. Filipowski is not physical enough to manage Alex Sarr. Okay? That's the matchup. And then Bub Carrington, hey, he can hoop. He can hoop. Guys, just trust me. The Jazz are trying to lose. And the Wizards are trying to lose too. But I actually believe more in the tanking ability of the Utah Jazz in their quest to play capture the flag more than I do the Washington Wizards. So give me Utah. They know how to tank. They've been doing it for a while now. Utah out-tanks Washington at home. We go on to our next game. Here we go. Let's go. Los Angeles, California. Lakers, Nuggets at the Crypto Center. Lakers in 5. Okay? Lakers win this game. They're going to beat the Nuggets. I've been saying it. I want the Nuggets in the playoffs now. I think this team's horrible. I don't care they beat the Warriors. Okay, I don't care. No, this Nuggets team is bad. All right, let's look at the injuries for the Nuggets. Oh, Jokic is questionable. Jamal Murray's questionable. Christian Brown is questionable. Oh, no. They're all playing. They're all going to play. Just be honest. They're all playing. This is their Game 7. That's why they didn't play the Warriors game. They've been preparing for this game. Now, part of me is hoping that that's actually real, that they might not play. They're playing. I've seen this too many times. Okay? It's real. It's real. Teams play their Game 7 when they go to LA. They just do. And no, not the Clippers. The Lakers will win this basketball game, though, guys. Hachimura and James are still out. That's okay. It's okay. Jackson Hayes is back. You know, and Jackson Hayes in that Spurs game played phenomenal. I mean, how the oop that Luka threw from the three-point line, insane. And Austin Reeves is the best, number 3 in the entire league. We know he is. He's the best third option in the NBA, and it's not even close at this point. I saw a trade rumor. Oh, the Lakers can get KD for AR. Respect to Kevin Durant. He's one of the best players of this generation. I'd rather have Austin Reeves. By far, I'd rather have AR than KD. At this point, 100%. Guys, AR, this could be a bold take. AR's number is going to be hanging in the rafters in 20 years, okay? Number 15 is going in the rafters. It'll be right next to Gasol's number. Yeah, trust me. Number 15, Reeves, is going to get this big 3 after they win a chip this year. And I think AR is a Laker lifer. It's going to be, they probably won't retire 6. 23 LeBron, 15 Reeves, 77 Luka. All 3 of those are getting retired here in LA. Just wait. They are. We know Luka's going to be here for the rest of his career. It's going to get retired. LeBron, obviously. I think AR, too. Hell, they retired Michael Cooper's number. Love Michael Cooper. All-time great, right? He was great in winning time. That's what I'm saying. I think AR is great. I think AR is going to be here for a long time. The Lakers will beat the Nuggets. I get it, no LeBron, but the Nuggets don't play defense. And it's a different matchup than it's been in the last couple seasons, man. It just is. I know Denver won the last time, but that game was in Denver and Luka didn't play. Now Luka's back. Jackson Hayes is back. Yeah, I don't know, man. And if it wasn't for the moving screen at that game at the end, obviously, where Jokic literally just took Connect and said, "Come here," just moved him out the way so Jamal Murray could hit his shot. The Lakers, had a good chance to win that game. Now you get in Los Angeles. I'm not even going to try to say, oh, there's a chance Jokic and Jamal Murray don't play. They're both playing. We know they are. All right? They're going to get cleared. Because there's a reason they took off Monday. I think the Lakers get him here, though. Give me Luka, man. He needs a big... Well, he's been playing big games. But Luka, I think he needs to, a nationally televised game. They're playing the Nuggets. Right the wrongs of the last couple seasons. And give us something to cheer for. Lakers win tonight. And the Rockets lose as well. The Lakers are the number 2 seed to get into the Western Conference. Give me the number 2 seed going into the postseason. Lakers Thunder Western Conference Finals. Cinema. Lakers win at home. They're just better than the Nuggets. They will double Jokic, and they will force Aaron Gordon to beat them. I get it. Gordon scored 40 in their last game. They will force Aaron Gordon and Russell Westbrook to win 2 consecutive games on their own, okay? JJ's got this one figured out. We'll be fine. To our next game, we go to Phoenix, Arizona, the Suns and the Bulls. I'm taking the Bulls, okay? You can take the point spread. That's fine. I don't mind the point spread for Chicago here. I'm going to take... I'll probably just play the points personally. I think they win too. The Bulls are playing really good basketball right now, and nobody's talking about it because they're Chicago, because their best player is Josh Giddey, and because their best player, Josh Giddey's injured. But Kobe White's really stepped up in Giddey's absence, obviously. They've now won five of their last six, beating Orlando and Miami on the road, beating Indiana at home, no Halliburton, but still, beating the Nets, going to Houston and losing a very close game by 3 points, and then obviously beating the tanking Utah Jazz in their last basketball game. Giddey's questionable now. Let's go. I don't think Giddey's playing tonight. If he does, that helps out even more. Because they do play tomorrow as well. I think Giddey might be back tomorrow. If not, of course he'll come back for the Lakers game. Of course he will. I'm just hoping for my sanity he comes back on Thursday against the Kings. Or tonight. I don't care. One of the two. Even better if he plays tonight. But Chicago's good, man. They score a lot. They're an efficient team. And the Suns don't play defense. This will be a shootout. Obviously, the over-under is 235. Is it the highest tonight? Gotta be. Yeah, it's even higher than the Pacers, and the Pacers always play quick. Oh, because they're playing the Mavs. But still, it's the highest over-under tonight, and it makes sense. Both these teams don't really play defense. I'll argue Chicago's playing this style a lot better than the Suns are right now. And sure, Phoenix will keep pace with Dallas, because Dallas keeps losing in their own right as well. But you look at the horrible schedule that the Phoenix Suns have to continue to play in terms of like just great teams they got up. I don't know. I mean, I think they'll eventually pass the Mavs, but look at the schedule, man. Bulls, Cavs, Bucks, Celtics, Timberwolves, Rockets, Bucks, Celtics, Knicks, Warriors, Thunder, Kings, Spurs, Kings. The only non-playoff team in that entire stretch is the Spurs. They're in trouble, man. I think they will find ways to win some of these games, obviously, because they're a decent team. I don't know, maybe if AD comes back, maybe the Mavs do stick in the 10. We'll see. We will see. I'm taking the Bulls here, though. Give me Kobe White to have a night. I think the Bulls outscore Phoenix. They both don't play defense, but I'll argue again, Phoenix is the hotter basketball team, and Phoenix is playing better at this style right now than the Suns are. So give me Chicago to go to Phoenix and win. Expect Booker to have a big night, but expect Kobe White to match him shot for shot. I'm serious. I'm taking the Bulls on the road. Next up, we go to Portland, Oregon. The Trailblazers taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. For as much as I want to take the Blazers here, I'm taking the Grizzlies. Why? Because I literally witnessed the first matchup. I was there. I was in Oregon when the first one happened. It was an embarrassment. And I get it. The Blazers are playing much better than they were back in, October I was there? No, November? November 25th. No. Was it November 25th? No, it wasn't. It was the second game. November 10th. Excuse me, November 10th. For reference, I've talked about this before. The score was 134-89. Ja didn't play that game. And the Grizzlies put belt to ass in the Blazers. I just think it's a matchup thing. I think the Grizzlies match up really well with Portland. They've beat them both times this season. This is the third encounter between the two squads. And they've blown them out in both matchups. And I get it, they haven't played since November, but Memphis just plays really well against Portland. They just do. Because how you beat Portland is you shoot in the perimeter, and Memphis is a good shooting team. Jaren Jackson, obviously, you bring out the 5, you force Klingon to guard him on the outside, and yeah, it's rough, you know? Or you force their 4 because you play both Edey and Jackson, so then you force, Denny Adjiva on Jaren Jackson, and you just have too many options there, basically. And then you have Edey on Klingon, which, Klingon did well in the national championship game last year, obviously, against him. But right, I mean, it's a game that favors the Grizzlies so much, and they've dominated this matchup time in and time out this season as well. Jeremy Grant's out, not like that matters that much for the Blazers, even though I think he led them in scoring that first matchup. But for the Blazers to play competitive ball tonight, they need to have an excellent shooting night. They weren't able to do that in the first 2 matchups, both in Portland and in Memphis. Anthony Simons is going to get his shots. Denny Adjiva has been really good as well. But Adjiva's been, really playing, aggressive ball. He's been dominating on the glass. He'll likely have Jaren Jackson on him all night long. If not, Jalen Wells. But those are 2 matchups I don't really like for Denny Adjiva. They've moved Sharp into the starting lineup recently. He's playing at the 3, which is fine. I'd take Kamara off, honestly. But you need some presence off the bench with Scoot and Denny Adjiva instead. But I like the Memphis Grizzlies here. I know Ja's not playing, but I expect the Grizz to dominate this matchup like they've done all year long. So give me Memphis on the road to win and cover the 4.5. I hope the Blazers win, but yeah, give me the Grizzlies. Last game of the night, we go to Sacramento, California. The Kings are taking on the Cavaliers. Full transparency, I'm recording this video during halftime of the Cavaliers-Clippers game. The Cavs are up by 1. It's 73-68. Sorry, they're up by 5. The Bucks are up by 1 over the Warriors right now. Don't really think this, that result changes anything for me if the Cavs win or not against Los Angeles. I think they beat Sacramento, especially without Sabonis now. Sabonis out for at least 10 days, they're saying. And the Kings are 3-6 this season without Domantas Sabonis in the lineup. They just lack a presence of a big, because I'm just going to be honest, Jonas Valanciunas can't hang with, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Just can't, right? Evan Mobley did play last night against Los Angeles, so don't expect him to play tonight, which is fine, because Jared Allen's just going to dominate that matchup instead. And I think, honestly, that's okay that Mobley's not going to play tonight, because if Mobley's in, then you have to guard Keegan Murray on the outside. I think it's a lot easier, honestly. I mean, obviously, they're better with Evan Mobley, but I think it's an okay adjustment that they need to make, right? DeAndre Hunter can just guard Keegan Murray, and they're going to be perfectly fine, right? There's going to be no presence of Keegan Murray on that side of the ball anymore. Or if not, they'll probably put Hunter on... No, they'll put Hunter on DeMar and then Strus on Keegan. But still, the Cavaliers are better. I know, again, second night of a back-to-back, sure, that will impact them some. I don't trust the Kings. I don't. Sacramento had a little stretch where they're like, all right, this team's not horrible. They lost 4 in a row. Clippers, Knicks, Warriors, Suns. They do beat Memphis in their last game. Again, Malik Monk had a big night for the Kings. I just don't expect that to continue to be the case all the time. I don't think Sacramento's all that sustainable without Sabonis. Like we saw in their losing streak, again, a lot of the games that they were losing was when Sabonis was out and when Valanciunas was starting. Again, Valanciunas is a decent backup. No, I'll say he's a good backup in the NBA. He's not a starting caliber guy right now, at least on a playoff team. That's not what Valanciunas provides. He's a backup guy who can give you really good minutes off the bench, and he obviously does not fulfill the role that Sabonis leaves. Give me Cleveland in this spot. They should just be able to outscore Sacramento. It should be a high-scoring affair. The Cavs let's just be honest, the Cavs score better than the Kings do. They score more efficiently. They shoot better. Cleveland all day long in this matchup. They're on the road. This line might go one way or the other, depending on how the Cavs result goes tonight, obviously, or last night, because I'm recording this while the game's happening. But I like Cleveland here, -4.5, minus 185. I don't mind it at all. They're much better than Sacramento. Don't trust this DeRozan-Levine team right now. I did for a little bit earlier in that winning streak, but now it's just they are falling apart. I know they're coming off the win over the Grizzlies. That's great. They're not putting back-to-back games together. Give me the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road here at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, and they beat the Kings. So folks, thank you all for watching our NBA predictions here for March 19th. If you have not yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily NBA predictions and our March Madness predictions as well tomorrow. Our best bets for March Madness tomorrow again for Thursday. So folks, thank you all for watching, and Mamba forever.